Hi, I'm Claire, your intuitive reader. Am I reading your story? Let's find out. Who knows, right? So, what I'm getting, and if you've never been here before, welcome. This is the Koala Collective, and I'm Claire, your intuitive reader. If you've been here before, you know who I am. It's nice to see you. We're going to get comfortable, have a little something to drink. At least for me, coffee is just so awesome. But if you don't, pull up, get some water, drink whatever, eat a little snack, just hang out. I would love to eat popcorn or do something like that while I'm doing this, but it's kind of hard to eat and do this. So we'll see how it goes. So welcome. The first card, and these are the Wizard of Oz Tarot. She's an independent tarot builder. I love the Wizard of Oz. I always have. And so the first card you guys got is the Tower. The Tower it's the Emerald City Tower that's burning to the ground. So I'm getting a lot about this, about like organized perceptions of something very fundamental in your life, but it wasn't ever working for you. It wasn't for you. It's like the man, like that sort of thing, the big industry, a business, a boss, a family dynamic, something really organized, big, that had kind of control of when and what you did. It may be something you're like freaking out that it's happening. And then my throat just went. So you may be like kind of choked up and freaked out, because as this happens, there's going to be a lot of upheaval, a lot of movement. So let's get some further information on this. Very interesting card. See if you want to look at that. Okay, let's see what else we get. What's going on with you guys? Oh, a whole bunch of cards came out. So that is a big stack. That is huge. At the bottom of that stack, though, is the Ace of Buckets, the Ace of Cups. And so some new opportunity is coming in. You can't put out this entire fire with this one bucket, right? So you're going to have to decide what you want to keep in place and what you don't. You're going to have to be very purposeful on what you keep in your life at this point, because you cannot save it all. And that's becoming very clear. I see this as there's even water. So, and it's also from the perspective you're having. One bucket of water could be very effective if you're putting out the fire at its core, in that one focal point. So you put it right over the flames. And honestly, you only needed one bucket of water in the Wizard of Oz to take down the witch. Because the witch was the establishment. The witch was everything that was coming after Dorothy. And she wanted to destroy everything. And this is the traditional. I know all the controversy about what might have really been going on. But you only needed one bucket of water to put that out. And this is talking about that. You only need to be completely focused on what you want to preserve and what you want to put your attention into. Okay, let's see what else comes out. So you're kind of you're the wild card, because with a well-placed intention, you can actually have everything change. So let's see. So I hope you guys are good. I have the lights a little low today because it was just so glaring. I just felt like it was I want to have more intimacy with you guys than all this light camera action. I'm just a person. I'm just a person like you guys, and I deal with things that you guys deal with. And so that's why I don't tell sensationalist stories about all these crazy things sometimes I hear online, because that's not realistic to real people's lives. It might be entertaining, but it's not very realistic. Okay, so you're showing up what the foundation is the Empress. You understand that the magic really comes from where you put your intentions. There's no place like home. You had the power all along to go where you want to go. And I think this establishment, the situation made you feel that you were stuck. And so falling is scary, but it's also an opportunity for you to focus on what's important and decide which direction you want to go. Okay, let's get some clarity, because that's so abstract. And I do notice that when I'm doing these collective readings, they are very abstract because I'm tuning in to so many people's stories that I have to make kind of a generalization on what I'm getting. So if you want a personal reading, I do them, and my information is in the description. Well, no, it's on my page. So in my description of the channel. And I would love to do a reading for you guys. It's fun. I love doing personal readings. I think it's just amazing to tap in and really get to tell your story and help you, guide you. So please, reach out. What you don't know is the 7 of buckets, the 7 of cups. And this is about like having too many options. This is like, I don't know what's going to be in that way. If I go this direction, what's going to happen? And so this is, again, talking about how this tower falling is probably a good thing for you, because it like took over. It like started off as something fun you wanted to do, or a loving connection, or a job that you were excited about, and it's turned into like almost a prison here. Like, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and looks great from the outside. It can be fun for a little while, but when it comes down to it, it's kind of like the banks and stuff like that. At a certain point, they said they're too big to fail, and actually that was the precursor to them falling. So let's see what else wants to come out. These cards just love jumping. Oh, well, I like that one. Okay, in the past is the Hanged Man. And you felt in a rush. You felt like you had to make a decision. You had to, like everything was in a timed thing. So this may be a job. That doesn't normally happen to me unless I'm doing these readings. So, whoa, clarity there. Okay, so I'm getting this is probably a job career-wise. And see the hands right there? I hadn't noticed those before. Like, your time was under the control of someone else in the past. And so when this tower hit, now you have control over your time. You may have too much time. You may not know what direction to go. You may have so many different ways, like, okay, do I go this direction and make more money? Or do I go this direction and move? Do I go this direction and work with this group? Or, do I go a completely different direction? It's kind of overwhelming. You're feeling a little stuck. So, but the good news is your time is now yours. Okay. What is coming in for y'all? I don't say y'all that often, so maybe somebody's dialect is coming through. Y'all. Okay. What is coming in? Oh, and I just got a really bad stomach ache. Somebody may be really anxious about this. Yep, what's coming in is the 10 of Wands. You're going to see this change, this movement or you are seeing it as a burden. So it may be giving you knots in your stomach. You may be feeling really anxious because you have to pay bills. You have to be there for your family. You just have to take care of yourself. And now what are you going to do? And so you're seeing this as a burden to carry. And the way he's carrying this is not the most effective way. So look at, maybe you need to get some help. Maybe you need to change the way you're looking at things. Take a little bit of reorganizing, and you'll have more success. So, but I do feel like there's a lot of stress going on here with whoever I'm reading for. Okay. So, but your mindset is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune can be success, but it can also be a little, like, if it's not balanced, if the wheel's not balanced, it can kind of like be wonky, wobbly, and be unsure if you're going to actually reach that. So you may be very nervous because time's turning, the wheel is moving, and you may be a little off balance, a little overwhelmed right now. So getting your mental well-being, your physical well-being, making sure you're getting enough water, good idea. I don't have water right next to me, but that was definitely not water. Now I have jelly stuff in my mouth. But getting your digestion, your nutrition, your sleep, your hydration, your mental well-being. I mean, take 5 minutes, watch something funny. Actually, just take 5 minutes and be still. Part of the problem is that we are uncomfortable being still, of being bored. And I think this may come to you, a solution to your problem may come to you if you spend even 5 minutes just being bored. Take 5 minutes, and I learned this from another reader. Her name is Christy Thompson, something like that. It's Tiny Turtle Tarot. She's very cool. I saw a video of hers from months ago where she just sat there and said, okay, can you make it through 5 minutes of just watching my eyes dance? And I realized how amazing that was, because I did make it through the 5 minutes, and I was amazed with her bravery to see the positive in that, and then just sit there in a camera for 5 minutes without saying anything, and then challenge us to do the same. And like, what advice are we giving others that we're not taking ourselves? Because that's probably the key to what you need to work on. Think about what you would say to yourself as a friend, and then take that advice. It's hard. Like, if we're going to tell other people, here's what you could do, we've got to be able to do it ourselves. So maybe try that. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just sit there and be bored and see what happens. Something's going to come to you, but you have to give your mind the opportunity to be bored, to be like, find a solution to your problem. You have the solution. You don't need to go online. You don't even need to come to tarot readers. This is supposed to be confirmation to you. So if you're not spending any time asking yourself, you're going to have a hard time figuring out what you need to do. And I just saw 12:21 on the timer. So that's that palindrome. So that's very interesting. It's like a mirror. So whatever's going on in our lives, whoever we're around, they're acting as a mirror for what we need. So we've got to take that advice. So that's what's going on right now. And then what your surroundings are, the 5 of bricks. And the 5 of bricks is the 5 of pentacles. And this is often about being out in the cold, about being, alone and not having anyone. But what I'm seeing here is that's kind of a choice. We're keeping ourselves so stuck that we're probably running ourselves into the ground. You're not keeping yourself healthy. You're not stopping before you hit that brick wall. And that's hard to do, because if your surroundings are like, go, 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 that can mean that we don't really reflect on who we are. I mean, in this, it's supposed to be a window, but it's just these pentacles. So we're really focused on the physical here and now, instead of who we are, and really reclaiming our space. Okay. And so your hopes and fears are the 5 of wands. So your hopes are that you're going to be able to do everything all at once. And your fear is that you, of course, can't. You can't wear you can't be every position. You can't do every single thing in your life. You're going to have to pick, like I said, with this bucket, with this Ace of Cups, you're going to have to choose carefully. And you're going to have to do that through really introspection and figuring out what makes you whole, what's really going to bring balance into your life. Okay, and let's see what your likely outcome is. I just saw 1414. So yeah, like, you're moving forward. Your where your mind is also where you're showing up in the 3D world, in your everyday life. Now, I mean, think about it. You now have your time, which is vital. It's all our time. A minute of our time at the end of our life means more than any amount of money, any amount of stuff. And so really, what would you do if you knew that was it? Like, if you start living your life like every moment is precious. Every moment is something you can't get back. You'll think about your choices very differently. Are you going to take care of yourself? Because what if that time you got sick and you took care of yourself gave you an extra 5 years of life and you didn't even know, or it took away 5 years of your life? So you have to really think about how precious your time is, and that everything is affecting the overall outcome. Let's see. What is going to be the likely outcome of your wonderful story? This is the first day of your new life. Choose wisely. That we are only guaranteed this moment in life, and our lives may I hope I said that right. If I didn't, correct me down below. Change in a second, and all of a sudden everything we thought was going to be the way it was going to be forever, that we were going to have certain people in our lives. Don't make sacrifices to your morals of what's important to you, but make sure that it's in alignment with you. So, the likely outcome that took forever is the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Bricks. And this is something that's already in the works. You don't even realize it. Like, the people that you need are going to come in when you need them. But you're going to have to be prepared too, because each of you carries an essential component to this puzzle of life. By the time we reach the end of our lives, these pearly gates, these pillars, these, the two directions, we pass through that balance, that arch. We want to make sure that we have everything in a row. And I'm not saying anybody's going to meet their end here. I'm saying that if we see how precious life is, if we see that every tower is an opportunity. I love the Tower card because it's painful, it's hard, but it also clears the path for the really important things in life. We really start focusing on what is important and putting our attention into that. And so I love you. Remember, you just got your time back. Whether this feels scary or not, if you look at it differently, you got your time, father time, your life force back. So I love you, and everything's going to be okay. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me and reading your story. If you did, could you please come back, subscribe, turn on that little notification so you know when I'm posting. I would love to go live soon. I'm starting to feel better again. So I'm excited to do that. And comment below. I'm so behind on comments, but I'm reading all your comments. I love them. They give me a little perk when I'm feeling a little down. And, subscribe, comment, share. If this meant something to you, share it with someone else, because maybe you're not the person that I'm reading for, but maybe you know someone that could get something out of it. So I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. See you soon. Bye.